Hello and welcome to Female Cricket Live. The 11th match of the 12th edition of the ICC Women's Cricket World Cup was played today between Australia and New Zealand. New Zealand won the toss and elected to bowl. Batting first, Australia posted a competitive score of 269 for 8, riding on Elise Perry's 68, Talia McGrath's 57, and Ashley Gardner's blitzkrieg of unbeaten 48. For New Zealand, it was Leah Tahuhu who was the pick of the bowlers as she scalped 3 for 53 in her 9 overs. In reply, New Zealand could manage to score just 128 as they were bundled out in 30.2 overs. Amy Satterthwaite was the lone warrior for the White Ferns as she top scored with 44 runs. For Australia, it was the 19-year-old Darcy Brown who was the pick of the bowlers as she picked up 3 for 22 in her 7 overs, including one maiden. So after this match, we can see that Australia have been on a roll. They have won 3 out of the 3 matches in the World Cup campaign so far, while the hosts, New Zealand, have won just 2 out of the 4 matches. Now ahead of us, we have yet another exciting contest. It is between South Africa and England. The match will be played at the Bay Oval in Mount Maunganui and it will start at 6:30 a.m. Indian Standard Time tomorrow, that is 14th of March. So do tune in to catch all the live action on Star Sports and Disney Plus Hotstar. So to talk more about this exciting contest between South Africa and England, I have with me Dinesha Devnarayan, Lezogo Pui, who likes to be called Lee, Dhanush Lavanya, and Urvi Shah. So Dinesha Devnarayan is a former captain of South Africa women's cricket team and she has played more than 50 international matches for South Africa. Since 2020, she has been the head coach of South Africa women's under-19 cricket team. Then we have Lee, who is an avid cricket writer and a seasoned cricket presenter. She was also the media manager for the South Africa team when they toured India in 2019. We have Dhanush Lavanya, who is a content writer at Female Cricket, and we have Urvi Shah, who is a mental health facilitator and an avid cricket writer. So I welcome all of you to Female Cricket Live.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Great. It's our
Thank
pleasure.
you so much for having us.
Right. So before we start with this conversation, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Lee for being selected as the host and broadcaster for Fairbreak Global Invitational Women's T20 tournament that will be played in Hong Kong in May this year. So many congratulations to you, Lee, for this.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the well wishes.
Wonderful. And we are excited to see you hosting and broadcasting this much exciting contest that is the Fairbreak Global Invitational Tournament. All right. So moving with our discussion ahead about the South Africa England tour match, sorry. So Dinesha, South Africa have had 2 wins in the 2 matches in the World Cup campaign so far. They beat Bangladesh, then they beat Pakistan. Now they're going to face England, the defending champions. We know that England defeated South Africa in the 2017 semi-final of the World Cup. Then England also defeated South Africa in the warm-up match that was played just a couple of weeks back. Also, head-to-head statistics, if we see, England have dominated with 29 wins to South Africa's 8 wins. So, with this background, what do you think will be approach of South Africa taking on the defending champions England tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm still gonna say we gotta stick to our guns here. We gotta stick to our plan. Excuse me. So I think, we got the 2 wins, which is fantastic. It's really good for us leading up to this fixture against England because England's the opposite of where we are with those 2 games. So it's gonna be interesting. I don't think the girls are gonna think too much of the head to head. We've been playing really good cricket over the last 2 to 3 years. Um, I just think we've got to stick to what we know. So, I mean, if we look at this World Cup and we see the trend of it, I mean, the team that's bowling second is sort of getting the wins. I know it's quite a big margin actually. So, if we get into a position where we batting first, we've got to also put something to defend there, you know. Um, and no, in England they will come hard at us. But I don't want to take the matches that we have against each other or the warm up match into it. I'm just happy that we're in a position. Yes, we got 2 wins. We haven't been playing our best cricket, um, but we've got to get into a position where this is the plan. A, B, and C is responsible of getting this many runs. This is our runners between the wickets, and these are the people we're looking to finish the games. Until we get to that, day, it's going to be very difficult to start talking about the prediction of the match. Where do you think this match is going? The one thing that is in our favor for tomorrow is that we do have momentum of winning. So let's hope that we take that through, and we can overcome England tomorrow.
Yeah, so continuing with the batting first approach, Lee, I would like to know your thoughts on how important would it be for the top three batters of South Africa, that is Lee, Laura, and Brits, to actually fire up in the early overs. As we know that England has the experience of Catherine Brunt, they have Sophie Eccleston and everyone coming into the attack. So, what mindset should they go on with?
Yeah, I mean it's so important for our openers to fire up in the beginning, and we know that Lizelle Lee and Laura Wolford have that capability to do that, and it's quite unfortunate that what we saw against Pakistan with the return of Lizelle Lee, they didn't fire up, they didn't fire as well as we wanted to, especially as a partnership. I mean, Laura Wolford has been brilliant in the beginning, and so that's what we want to continue seeing. But I think partnerships are key in the next game against England. And that's what we've been missing, and especially that number three position. And I remember when I was on this platform last time, I did speak about what's going to happen on that number three position. Are they going to keep Lara Goodall there, or will they bring in a Tasman Brits? And as we've seen, they brought in a Tasman Brits. But unfortunately, we didn't see the kind of performance that we want to see from Tassie. And so we're hoping that in this next game against England, that top three will be able to play the kind of cricket that we always see from the Momentum Proteas. And when I analyze how they've been playing, especially with the bat, they're not even close to what we usually see from the girls. And so I'm hoping that not only the top three, but the entire batting lineup, in fact, especially the middle order, will be able to play the kind of cricket that we want to be seeing, because that will potentially set us up for a score that is a 250 plus. And I think a 250 plus score will be a good score to be able to defend against England, hoping that we go in there batting first, because I believe this World Cup is all about winning that toss, choosing to bat first, and then being able to set up a really good score, and then so that you could defend it, because I believe that our bowlers are able to do just that.
Absolutely. So, as both Dinesha and Lee have mentioned that teams winning the toss and electing to bat first, they have had majority of the wins. They have won 9 out of the 11 matches that we have seen so far. So, Dhanush, let us get you in to this conversation. So, unlike South Africa, who have enjoyed 2 wins in the World Cup campaign, England have suffered 2 defeats. Of course, close ones: 12 runs versus Australia, then 7 runs versus West Indies. Do you think England is going to bounce back tomorrow?
Definitely, they have to, because if I see the situation, if I can say in one sentence, England is in a stage of desperation, and South Africa is in a stage of relief. Is what I'll say, because like how Dinesh and Lee are saying, they won't be happy with the victory the way they won the first 2 games against Pakistan and Bangladesh, but they will be relieved that they were able to win that game. As far as England is concerned, it is completely 180, because unfortunately they also lost the games in the same fashion like how South Africa won those 2 games. So it is important for England to now step up, and there are just 5 more matches left. And with the way Australia is playing, with the way uh, India is trying to shape up itself, and New Zealand is any day going to be threatening when it comes to their home conditions. So with the games, with these teams stepping up so well, and England being the defending champions, they have to make sure that they win tomorrow's game by hook or crook. And if you see the 2 matches, they both in both the matches they chased, and unfortunately they weren't able to cross the line. And as far as we are speaking, this tournament, it's been like win the toss, bat first thing. I will be also looking forward to see how England approach will be, because their opening bowlers in the form of Catherine Brunt and Amy Strupsel haven't been that good with the ball as well in up front. So there is a lot of issues that has to be made sure that it is made right in tomorrow's game. Let us hope so that the mistakes will be undone.
Yeah. Dhanush, I would like to just continue on that one with you. Since you mentioned that they are the defending champions and they need to up their game, do you feel that going back and looking at the games of 2017 and actually taking some inspiration from how they played the tournament and won the championship, like, will that actually help them coming into the next game, since they have been losing the first 2 games in this
I,
tournament?
I believe they have come into the tournament at first place with that amount of inspiration, not pressure, with that, with being called the champions is really a special thing for any cricketer, for any team, and they have been called the defending champions, and there is that pressure certainly that is going to come. As far as playing against South Africa in tomorrow's game, it is not just taking inspiration from the performance in the 2017 World Cup semi-final. It is also the warm-up games, because in the warm-up games they bundled out South Africa for 138, and they were able to chase off that score pretty easily as well. So they can see that, because it is just like 2 weeks ago that warm-up game happened. So they have to make sure that they play their best on the field, and utilize the conditions that they are batting or bowling, so that this game is really important for England, because 3 losses in a row will affect their chances going forward in the tournament.
Of course, absolutely. As Dhanush is talking about England's need to bounce back in this tournament, it will be important for South Africa also to register their third win on the trot. So, Dinesha, let me ask you that Pakistan and South Africa had a good game, we can say, because South Africa just managed to win by 6 runs. It was a close one. And Shabnim Ismail bowling that last over, defending 10 runs, picking up 1 wicket, and of course, that crucial run out. So, how good was Shabnim Ismail that day, and how important will be her role? Because we all know that England has some star-studded batting lineup thanks to Tammy Beaumont, Nat Silver, of course, captain Heather Knight. So, how important will be Ismail's role tomorrow?
Yeah, I think first let me say Pakistan played brilliantly. Look, I don't think we played our best cricket, but I thought Pakistan really pushed us there, and you know what? My heart actually goes for them. I thought they played brilliantly that game. I did call it. I did say Shibnam was gonna be the player to watch out in that game. She just does really well against Pakistan. But I just want to talk about a temperament that over outstanding. You know, we talk about world class athletes, but we talk about them performing under pressure, and what she did there, you know. And it's crazy because I sent her a message on the day saying, you know what, I just said, you're well done, champ. And then she says, I'm sure you called it, huh? You know, this one was my game. And when a player sort of give you that sort of belief, you sort of know that they're going to perform for you on the big stage. um and if we hear her post match presentation, she wanted it. There's no one else to go. She wanted the ball, but the ability that she had to execute under pressure, and that catch, that overhead catch for a bowler to take, is outstanding. So yes, we can talk about it, and she makes mention of it. I mean, she just took a couple of it. She doesn't spend the whole day in fielding, but she knows what she needs to do. And those are the type of players you want in your camp, because they are going to lift World Cups for you. They're either going to be the one that does it, or they're going to enable the whole team to do it. Looking at England's lineup, you on paper it looks fantastic, eh? It looks fantastic. I mean, if you take the average of England's average opposed to our average on bowlers, it's not much of a difference. So if we match South African bowlers average to the batters that England are getting, or the runs that they score in, it doesn't stand. Like, we talk about matchups. For me, there wouldn't be a standout matchup that's going to happen there. It's just about who we're going to get better on the day. That's going to ask the right questions. Where's our pot of gold? Which areas we're looking to hit? Is it the harder length, the fuller length? Well, from what I've seen, the fuller length works a lot. I mean, half trackers, you probably find that at the boundary. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting contest. I'm really in awe that if we get the chance to bowl first, how we're going to present the new ball up front. You know, how we're going to present the seam up to the batters that's facing. I mean, talk about Shibnam and Ismail opening the. I mean, Shibnam and Kapi opening the bowling. That's a fantastic pair. I mean, we talk about the two of them dominating world cricket, and then you get Ayabonga Kaka coming in as a first change. I mean, it's going to be really difficult for England to dominate. And when I say dominate, that will be looking at fives and six and over. So I'm just hoping to see how they present the seam of the ball with the with the batters, and if there's a partnership, that's something I'm going to look into. Is that how we go about breaking that partnership, and how do we drain the runs from it? But yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting contest tomorrow.
Dinesha, I would really like to pick your brains on this one. So, from your experience playing under these conditions, what is that one thing you definitely want South Africa to not miss tomorrow? Like any one area that they should really be on their toes in?
Yeah, it's a
fulfilling life.
fascinating. Yeah, thanks. It's a fascinating question, and questions like this, yeah, we're gonna have to start the show for 2 hours. But I think from a bowling front is the seam presentation of the ball. I want to see how able we are to present that on off stump. So when I say seam presentation, I'm not talking about swing bowling. I just want to present the seam and let it work off the seam. If we can do that, I think we'll be in a good position. From the batting, and I've been saying this before, and I've been saying it a lot, just in women's cricket, is strike rotation. Now, strike rotation is something that's just not kicking for us at the moment. So our boundary percentage is high. But in that first 10, yes, we know it's a power play, and maybe strike rotation will be a little bit less. We might forgive it. But now we're looking at the middle over periods. Are we using our feet, setting our own fields, and then are we getting into positions to get the ones? Because my thing is that, yes, we want to get in. If there's a break-in partnership, which we had in the two games, lots of break-in partnerships, where is my one option? Did that weak break we have, are we in the net saying, okay, it's an off spinner, maybe it's the ball going away, if it's a seamer, here's my one, because we got to get in by running between the wickets. We can't get in just facing balls. And that's something I would love to see our South Africans do a lot more. So, yes, let's set the field first. And I would love to see that top three take on the bowlers more. If we want to be world beaters, we've got to create a brand out there that says, whoa, that's something we need to work towards. Gone are the days where I'll just hang in here and wait for the bad ball. I mean, women's cricket has progressed so far. We've got to take it. We've got to start hitting length balls and saying, that's my area, that's my area. Let's move the field. Let's push a one here, let's push a one. We get in at fives and sixes and over. If we play that type of cricket, I don't see why we can't get to 290, 300. But for me, it's those two things: how we present the seam of the ball, with the new ball especially, and just a strike rotation when it comes to batting.
Lee. So Lee, as Dinesha is mentioning about the presentation of seam, it will be important for the South African pace bowlers tomorrow. And we know that South Africa have a good pace battery in Khaka, Ismail and Kaap, also good spinners in Sunelu, their captain of course, and Chloe Tryon. So I wanted to ask you that England is filled with right-handed batters. So do you think South Africa will employ more of spin because they have the likes of Sunelu and Chloe Tryon who can take the ball away from the right-handers? So do you think South Africa will employ more of spinners tomorrow?
Oh, that's a tricky one for me. I think Denisha will be able to answer that technical question. But I think for me, when I analyze just the in terms of the bowling and what I expect from the bowlers themselves, we all know that we've got a world class bowling attack and of Shipman Mishmael as well as Morizan Cup, and also the first change that Denisha spoke about of Ayabonga coming in, and I think that has been our strength, just our pace bowlers, and I think we have to make sure that we capitalize on those bowlers, and make sure that we lean on the strength of our bowling, and continue doing what the just the way that the bowlers have been doing, especially just even bringing in the spin bowlers in the middle. And so I don't think you have to change anything that's been working, because I think what this team has been, it's the bowling that's been winning the game for us. And so if that is the kind of bowling that we've been seeing from them, we need to continue with that. But as far as the technicalities, when you need to bring the spin bowlers, should we have extra spinners at certain points of the game? I think Denisha will be able to get into that. But as for me, I really truly believe that what's been working for us, we stick with it as far as the bowling is concerned.
Yeah, so when we talk about South Africa, we want to go with the same team that's helping the team win. Dhanush, I would like to ask your thoughts on England's team selection. Like, do you see any changes happening? As we know that in the two games they have not been able to cross the line for the win. So do you see anyone coming in or anyone being out of the squad for tomorrow?
I don't know whether there is a need for them for a change right now, because they know this side has the capacity to win. And as far as them losing those two matches, it was because they couldn't manage the pressure in the end at the end stages of the game, unfortunately, and that is what led to their defeat against Australia and West Indies. So as far as making any changes, I don't see them making any change in their squad. Maybe they can bring in a Charlotte Dean, who is the spinner, who can add in the spin, because there is only a lone spinner in the form of Sophie Eccleston. So they need to bring in, they might think of bringing in her instead of a Kate Cross or Anish Rapsul, who hasn't been having that good of a World Cup in the first two games. As far as the batting is concerned, I feel that Amy Jones, who is the wicket keeper, she has to step up and perform, because she's the only player who hasn't performed well and has not even scored a 30 in the first two games. Whereas and other players like Daniela White or Sophia Dunphy. These girls have got those starts. They have got those 20s and 30s. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to convert it into a 50 or a 60, because if they were able to do it, England would have won both those games pretty easily. And in the top order of the batting, I feel that they are pretty much well set. There is no need, because Tammy Beaumont had two good games, and then there is Heather Knight, who is the captain. She is experienced, and she also had a 30 and 40 in the first two games. And Nat Shiva, she has been excellent over the last few months when it comes to international cricket is concerned. So there is no need of a change, is what I feel. It's just about winning those moments of the matches, and they have to be making sure that they are at their 100% throughout the game.
Exactly. So I think just picking up from where Dhanush has left, maybe somebody like a Charlie Dean could find a place in the playing 11. But also, when I was thinking about what changes in can England makes, I was thinking maybe somebody like a Tash Farrant, who's a left arm seamer. Maybe if she can come in place of Anya Shrapsol, I know she has a lot of experience, Shrapsol, but probably since she has gone wicketless in the two matches that England have played so far, probably England could try somebody like a Tash Farrant, who's a left arm seamer. All right, so moving on to you, Dinesha. As Dhanush has talked about changes that probably England could make or not make, what do you think will South Africa do into the going into the match tomorrow? Do you see any changes being made?
Yeah, the last time you asked me that, I thought they'll make a change, but they didn't. So I'm probably the you should ask me that. But okay, I might not say a change. I would love to see Nonkululeko Mlaba bowl in these conditions specifically, based on the fact of how much turn she gets on a ball, and also is that she's only focused on bowling. So I'll be interested to see where she lands up. Whether they make that choice in this game against England, I'm not too sure. Um, I just want to talk about the baton here. So we've had Brits up the order, and then we moved it to three, and Goodall was out. We can see we're lacking there. We're lacking a massive aspect. It's just not working. And look, I'm just going to give my thoughts and where South Africa is in this World Cup. I mean, if you take a player like Trisha Chetty, okay, she played well in that last innings with Pakistan. But I mean, if you look at Trisha Chetty, she's been opening for South Africa for quite a few years early on in her career. I mean, I think I was still part of that squad. Is that an option we look at? I don't know. I hope that it might be. Um, but if not that, then let's give Brits the leeway to play her brand of cricket. Because I think for me it looks like she's a little bit nervous, yes. But are we creating that brand to say, you know what, just go out there and play. Go play your natural brand of cricket. Take the bowlers on. We go out like that, they're well done. Unlucky. We'll go back to the nets, we'll execute again. And then just for me, I'm gonna touch on that middle period again. It's just the intent. We just need to get on the other side. Hundreds are scored on the non-strikers end. And we need to get more batters there for me. So whether there'll be a change, I can't say 100% for sure, but I am 100% on playing better cricket, especially with rotational strike.
Let us see how the South African batters approach the game tomorrow, because we know that England is a good bowling side, and of course they have good batters. So it will be important for them to at least post 250, as I think Dinesh has mentioned before, that something around 290, I think she is expecting for South African batters to post. And of course, with Lizzle Lee back in action, though she did not have a great game, which was her first match of the World Cup, let us hope that she is able to fire on all cylinders tomorrow. All right, so we are just few hours away from the match between South Africa and England. So, Lee, can we have some quick predictions from you? What will South Africa do if they win the toss, number one? And what will be the score that they'll post on board or probably chase against England tomorrow?
Yeah, I just hope for dear life that South Africa wins the toss and they elect to bat first. And I'm hoping that Lizelle Lee, it will be this particular game against England where she's going to fire, because we all know that when Lizelle Lee is on form, she's on form, and she can get those boundaries and just hit it hard. And I'm hoping that she'll be able to do that. And if they have a good start with Laura Wolfart, I can see a 270, 280 score. And but I just want to add on what Coach D was saying as far as the rotation of strike. I think that's very important, and I'd love to see that happening, because I think in the last couple of games we've seen the experience of Marizan Cup. In fact, in the very first game against Bangladesh, we saw the experience of Marizan Cup as well as Chloe Tryon. I think they rotated strike so nicely at the back end, and I think if the middle order is able to do that, and even at the start, I think we should be able to set ourselves up for a really good score. But also that number 3 position, I think Tassie should stay. I think they shouldn't make any changes to the to that starting 11. And I'm pretty sure probably Coach Hilton would think to himself, why would you want to change a winning team? And even if they're winning, they're not winning in the standards in which we want to be seeing. But at the end of the day, they're winning. And so let the team remain as it is. We just tweak here and there, hoping that all the areas from the batting to the fielding to the bowling works in unison, and that even Tassie, that's my girl. I once played with her at Northwest Cricket, so I really want to see her coming into her own in this World Cup. It's her first World Cup, and I really want her to play her natural game, because Coach D is right. She seems so tentative. She seems so uneasy. And we've seen how good she can be with the bat, and even when she plays provincial cricket, I mean, she always hits those hundreds, and we know that the power that she has in hitting those boundaries, and I'm hoping that she could switch on nicely with this game against England, so that we could see a very good win, like a really solid win against England. And so let's just hope for the best. But I'm seeing South Africa winning this one, but it's all dependent on our opening batters.
Absolutely. So let us hope for the best, and may the best team win tomorrow. All right. So Dhanush, your quick predictions on the South Africa-England match tomorrow.
Yeah, after all, defending champions in this World Cup haven't got a good start. They lost their 2 games, England, so they will be making sure to be their best in this match. Winning the toss, I feel they will go for a go. They will try to bat first, because in Mount Maunganui, I guess we have seen 3 matches, and 2 of those have been won by batting first. So I feel that it's the right way to go. If you win the toss, go and bat first. But if they are made to chase once again for the 3rd time in a row, I feel that the approach will be a lot more better when it's compared to the previous 2 games, because they had a good start, but unfortunately they weren't able to continue it. The middle order is important for them to step up, like Amy Jones, then White, and Sophia Dunkley, because like I said, they get their 20s and 30s, but it won't take the team across the line. So it is important for them to do that. And for South Africa, this is a very big game for them. If they win this game against the defending champions, it's going to be like getting a revenge for their 2017 semi-final loss. And also, it's going to be giving a huge booster for them, because for South Africa, they are having 5 big games against very top quality sides in India, New Zealand, Australia, and West Indies. In the upcoming 4 games, so they will be really looking forward to win this game as well. They will be on their shoes. Ayabonga Kaka is one player that I have been extremely impressed in this World Cup. If you ask me who has been the bowler of this tournament, even though Rajeshwari Gaikwad or Dia Tahu may have more wickets than her, but it's been Ayabonga Kaka who has made that impact. So England will be aware of all these stuff. The pace batter of South Africa will be coming all guns blazing. I just hope that the England batters who are really, really experienced step up and play to the merit that they have in them.
Right. So as Dhanush just touched upon whether South Africa will be able to take that revenge of the 2017 World Cup semi-final from England, Dinesha, your predictions on tomorrow's match tomorrow.
I second that. I second that. No, I'm gonna leave it with our ladies. I think we're gonna pull this one through. Score predictions, I'm gonna say, if we bat first, I'm gonna go with 275. If we bowl first, we bowl in England out for 199. But it's gonna go to
199. Coach D. Wow.
I South Africa's bowling England out for 199. Under 200.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I'm going to remember this, and I'll look out for that.
Also, remember what I said in scene presentation. So if that's there, it's 199. But yeah, I'm hoping that. Well, I'm quite confident that we'll see this one through. But yeah, another early morning for me.
So
It's an
hopefully
early
we.
morning for myself and Coach D. We have to stock up on that coffee, but we're looking forward to it though.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, all right, it has been wonderful talking to all of you. But yes, I wouldn't let you people go because we have some questions from our fans. So, if we can take a couple of them. Right. Vinay Kumar is asking, does anybody think that Minion Dupree and Marizan Kaap should bat ahead of Sunelu? She isn't utilizing the resources. South Africa isn't utilizing the resources to the max. Dinesha, would you like to take this up?
Is that me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so sorry, I did something that happened there. So, what a fantastic question, eh? Really fantastic. Look, Sune is a quality batter. She is a quality batter. I know in terms of strike rates and what we've seen in this last two matches, it doesn't emulate what I'm saying. I wouldn't say bat Marizan in front of Sune because of the fact that she opens the bowling. So just to look after her and the skill work, I will say not so much. I like Kapi where she's batting at the moment, and she has the ability to bat with the tail, which not many batters know how to do that. So that is fantastic to see. Um, in terms of Minx and Sune, I'd still have Sune where she's batting. To be honest, it's just I think obviously we must understand that Sune has taken captaincy in a very short term and for this World Cup. I know that she was captaining before this with our skipper. Obviously, unfortunately, she couldn't be able to with our normal standing skipper. So I just feel that knock that Sune did in Pakistan is going to give her the role that she needs as where she bats now. And hopefully, when we start talking about maximizing resource use, hopefully, when we get closer to that time, we can make maybe you just go one higher, you drop a little bit low. But I think for now, she's exactly where she should be.
Right. So I think Dinesha is pretty happy with the batting order of South Africa that they have at present. All right. So can we take the next question? Okay. Mohit Bararia is asking, question to you, Lee. South African bowlers have done well to pull wins. Batting hasn't been at par so far. What would be your 1 to 4 in batting lineup for South Africa?
What would be my 1 to 4? Oh man, that's an interesting question, but a very good question because you're making me think. Um, I've always, for me, one thing that I have mentioned, and in the conversations that I've had with some of the friends in the industry, is that number 3 spot. And I mentioned this today. I'm happy with Liza Lee and Laura Wolford opening, and even having Sune coming in at 4. But the number 3 position for me has always been a question mark, and based on on what I had shared last time is that we've seen that Laura Goodall has not been good with hasn't been good with the bat, and I think the last time we have seen her with a great knock was I think against India in India, if I'm not mistaken, and and that was because obviously India was not used to Laura Goodall coming in, and so yeah, she had some good time with the bat. But as far as these last couple of series, unfortunately, she hasn't been giving the kind of performance that you want to be seeing from number 3 position. And so number 3 is always a big question mark for me. And so when Liza Lee came back, it was a question of who's going to be given that number 3 position, and we saw that obviously Tasman Brits was given it. But I wouldn't mind having like Trisha Chetty. We spoke about Trisha Chetty. She has opened. She has gone at 3. She has come in the middle, and now we're seeing her at the number 8 position. She has been flexible so much over the years that you could slot her anywhere. And so if she played so well against Pakistan in the last game, she was so crucial in getting us to the 223 runs on the scoreboard. And we needed that because if we didn't get to that over 223, I'm telling you, we would have lost that game against Pakistan. And so we could see how crucial she is, and she's looking so good with the bat. She has her eye in, and I wouldn't even mind having her at 3. But I think what coach will continue to do is having batters that he is used to having at number 3, which will be either Lara or trying out a Tasman Brits. I'm not sure if he'll be open to trying out a Trisha Chetty at a World Cup stage at this point. And so I'll stick with Tassie at number 3. So it will be Lizelle Lee, Laura Wolford, Tasman Brits, and Sune coming in at 4.
All right. All right. So can we have one more question? Okay, Vinay Kumar is asking, isn't it high time South Africa should look beyond Sinalo Jafta and Trisha Chetty in wicketkeeping, scout some fresh faces like India have done away with Tanya Bhatia? Interesting one. Dinesha, your thoughts on this, given that you are the head coach of South Africa Women's Under-19 team?
Yeah, that's a
I
great
also want
question.
to hear Tanisha's answer.
It's a good question. I'll tell you why it's a great question is because for the last, or from the time I've been employed at the job, that's my first pillar of what I want to do is wicket keepers. So yes, we've identified wicket keepers from at the emerging level, national academy level, under 19 level, under 16 level. So before that, we might say we have an option here, we have an option here. Are they ready for international cricket? No. But that's why I'm employed to do this job between the provincial structures and our national side. So I'm sort of the middleman. Prepare these girls in a high performance environment to get there. So I agree with that comment. We're supposed to do this maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And I hope now that we have provincial contracts for the top six of them are contracted in each province. I hope that this gives people to stay in the system. Because what will happen is we'll find keepers and they leave to study, they maybe go abroad, they'll go into work, they leave cricket out. But you can trust me when I say this. In terms of building a development program for sustainability and producing high performance or high end wicket keepers, it is in the process. Look, I don't think we're going to see it in a year or two, but I think with the under 19 World Cup coming up, we're going to see a few new faces, and then just into the emerging setup, and then hopefully in the Protea side, we're going to have keepers knocking in the door for the next 3 to 4 years and quality keepers.
Right. So I think, Vinay, you can be rest assured that you are going to see some excellent South African wicket keepers in the years to come. All right. Can we have the next question, please? Okay, Wheel of Time has a question for Lee and Urvi. Okay, considering the results as of now and the very tight competitive battle for the top 4 from a mindset level and tactically, who are your top 4 probables? I think he's talking about the teams, of course. So, Lee,
Okay.
would you like to take this up?
Yeah, definitely. It has to definitely be South Africa, and not because I'm being patriotic. It's because I know that the kind of cricket that South Africa has played hasn't been, the kind of cricket that we always see from the team. And so I know that they're going to peak at the right time, and we just hope that when they do peak, that they will be able to sustain that kind of cricket that we want to be seeing from the girls. And so I'm just hoping that they'll peak in the next game against England. But definitely South Africa is in that top 4. Australia is definitely there. England is definitely there. No, not England. New Zealand is definitely there. I think my 4th team will probably be India. I think maybe it's because the way that they played against West Indies. And it's tricky because I thought West Indies will definitely make it to the top 4 just because the way that they started their World Cup campaign. But with them, it was a different story. Because they started out playing such great cricket, we automatically thought that the way that they're playing their cricket will land them to the top 4 teams in the final 4, right? But now that they've just had an unfortunate game with India, it's a bit of a question mark. But ideally, I would love to see West Indies in the top 4 of just the way that just their big match temperament that they have, and how players like Deandra Darton is playing. It's been really impressive to see, and so yeah, we'll see how that finishes off. But well, to answer your question, it definitely will be South Africa, it will be Australia, it will be New Zealand, and I think I'll leave the last spot to West Indies. Yeah, let's leave it to West Indies. I'm a big fan of that team.
All right. All right. Okay, great. So can we take the next question? Okay, Mohit Bararia is asking question to you, Dinesha. Out of all the 11 games so far, which is that one match you have enjoyed watching the most?
There was quite a few encounters. There was a lot of games. Look, I really enjoyed the South African and Pakistan game. Maybe because I didn't miss a ball, but that New Zealand and West Indies game, my goodness! Early on in the competition, everyone's going with New Zealand. They're the hosts. I mean, this makes sense. And Deandra Dotton's over there. You know, we talk about 50 over cricket. We talk about a whole day fixture. Deandra Dotton changed the whole game in an over in 6 balls. And that's what's the beauty about this game. It is fantastic. Is that yes, we talk a lot about it in T20 cricket. Actually, we talk about any 1 or 2 overs can change a game, but I believe it's in 50 over cricket too. You just need that moment of brilliance and a little bit of madness. But that was for me the most fantastic game. I'm hoping that we get more like that there.
Absolutely. Just like you, Dinesha, we are hoping that we get to see more of that West Indies New Zealand game, which was, of course, the World Cup opener, and what a start to the World Cup that was. Amazing. So, thank you once again to Dinesha, Lee, Dhanush, and Urvi for talking to us about this exciting contest that we are going to witness tomorrow between South Africa and England. The match will be played at the Bay Oval in Mount Maunganui, and it will start at 6:30 a.m. Indian Standard Time. And you can catch all the live action on Star Sports and Disney Plus Hotstar. And we'll be back again at 9 p.m., so just 18 minutes from now, to preview the match between Pakistan and Bangladesh that will also be played tomorrow, 14th of March. So, all the viewers, be tuned in tomorrow because you are going to see a double header. First, it is going to be Pakistan and Bangladesh, and then South Africa and England. So, yes, do join us for a conversation today at 9 p.m. to preview the match between Bangladesh and Pakistan, and send us your questions using hashtag Female Cricket Live. Thank you.
Thank you.